All right, I think we are live. Hello, hello. Welcome to my live stream. If you are new to my channel, I am Boss Attorney Bri and I am a California licensed attorney. And today we are going to be getting in that California case that we've talked about a couple times in the last few weeks. If you are new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. If you are watching live, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button for the algorithm. And so, if you guys checked out the thumbnail, you already know we are getting into the Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians lawsuit. And it seems like it came to quite a quick end just because I know a lot of LawTube has been covering the Johnny Depp trial. And that thing it has started before the Blac Chyna trial. And guess what? It is still going on much longer than this Blac Chyna trial. So it's surprising. Well, it's not surprising. The trial wasn't supposed to be as long as the Johnny Depp trial, anyways, but it's over. So there has been a jury verdict, and we are actually going to go over what the jury decided in this case. If you do not know this case, basically, Blac Chyna sued the Kardashians for tortious interference, which basically means that they messed with her money, they messed with her bag. She had a show called Robin China on E a couple years ago, and she is saying that the Kardashians made it so that E Network did not renew her contract. She's also suing for defamation and some other things. But after looking at the jury verdict, the most that they really decided on was the fact that they interfered with the contract and the defamation. But you will also be surprised to find out that they actually dropped a couple of the Kardashians from the actual defamation suit. So that was very interesting to see on the jury verdict. All right, so let me just hop into the chat and see who is all here. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And let me know if it's your first time watching live. We have Chaz Focus Reacts saying, let's go. Thank you. Welcome to the live stream. And we have who said, Kate, hey Bree, got my first live with you. Yes, thank you for joining live. I absolutely love it. I hope you enjoy the content today. And we also have, seems like China never had a chance against these jokers. I feel like a lot of people did say that it was a long trial, not long trial, but a long case. This has been going on for 5 years and they're finally coming to an end. I really think that it's going to be a situation where she's going to appeal this verdict just because the Kardashians brought in some information that they were not supposed to bring in, which, like Chyna says, interrupted her actual testimony. It made her like a little shaken up and she couldn't really testify the way that she wanted to. I also think it's going to be a mistrial because of this jury instruction that we're actually going to go over before we actually get into the jury verdict, which dropped Kim Kardashian in the defamation suit. And so Blac Chyna was not happy about that. And then we have who said Kate is watching from Los Angeles. Okay, cool. Another Cali person. So you could have went to the trial if you really wanted to. It was in LA County. But before we jump into all of that, I want to ask who has heard or are you aware that a Supreme Court opinion has leaked in that is trying to overturn Roe versus Wade? For those of you who do not know what Roe versus Wade is, it's basically the Supreme Court case that allows for abortions, which is a hot topic. And a lot of people are really mad that this is happening. They think that the government is trying to control their bodies, and the government, being mostly led by men, are trying to control women's bodies. I've seen a couple of like clubhouses and different videos come out about this opinion. I have not had the chance to review the opinion, but I did want to go ahead and mention it on my stream so you guys do not think that I just completely ignored it. A lot of the conversations that I'm seeing come up about it is that they're not necessarily concerned about the court case being turned over, at least in my community. They're more concerned about, well, if women have the choice to either keep or not keep the child, then fathers need to have the choice to elect not to be financially liable. However, I do not necessarily agree with that rhetoric. I am a divorce attorney. I handle child support a lot. A lot of times, these fathers are not really contributing that much financially to a child to just be able to elect not to be a part of the child's life, but the mother's body is physically changing. I think that is probably why mothers have an additional choice. So I would keep an eye out on that opinion and actually look into the opinion and see what the judges and the court's opinion is about it. But the opinions on the street, it basically has nothing to do, at least as far as I have seen, the opinions on the street has nothing to do with whether the case should be overturned, but more whether men should have the rights, just like women should have the rights to decline to be a part of the baby's life. Now, with all of that out of the way, we are going to go ahead and jump into what we actually have scheduled for today, which is Blac Chyna unfortunately losing her lawsuit against the Kardashians. Let me know what you guys think about the case. I know who said Kate already said it seemed like Blac Chyna didn't have a case, or she didn't have a chance. Do you guys think that she actually had a case? I really wish that this would have been one of those court cases that they live stream so that we can actually see what they had testified to, what evidence they admitted, just like the Johnny Depp trial, but this was not the case here. So I'm just gonna pop over to sharing my screen so we can go ahead and look at the Blac Chyna's lawyers submitted a motion. Can't think of the word right now. They basically submitted a motion for the court to re-add Kim Kardashian back in for the defamation part of the lawsuit, because the court just kind of removed her from the defamation part of the lawsuit, and they feel like they didn't really get a fair chance to fight the defamation. So that could be one of the really big reasons why she did not win any money, because her defamation lawsuit was basically just thrown out, and the main part of her lawsuit was just the interference with her contract. With that, defamation was not all the way thrown out, but it was partly thrown out. It only went against, I think, Kris Jenner. But we'll get into what the jury actually selected in a second. And we will go ahead and look at the jury instruction motion that Blac Chyna's attorney filed on her behalf. We have who said, Kate, I do think she had a chance. I don't think she has the fancy attorneys the others do, sadly. She's problematic, but so are they. Yes, I could probably agree with that. I feel like just reading some of this stuff, a lot of stuff came out that Blac Chyna's attorney did not know prior to the trial starting. It was like right at the beginning. And then we'll also go over a part where they actually had to remove some of the court staff because they were biased and in favor of Kim Kardashian, or not Kim Kardashians, but the Kardashians in general, the Kardashians and Jenners, and actually removed them from the court. And Blac Chyna's attorneys are now thinking that some of the jurors may have also been biased and more in favor of the Kardashians. Chad says, back again for round 2. Hope you are doing well. Yes, I am doing well. Thank you for rejoining the live stream. Always nice to have some chats coming in. It helps keep the live stream going and keep it fancy, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and pop over to what Blac Chyna's attorneys, they basically filed this motion as a jury instruction that they want to be submitted to Blac Chyna, not to the jury, because Kim Kardashian was removed from the defamation portion of her case. So the foregoing case law was relied on by the trial court and Second District Court of Appeal in their correct ruling that plaintiff Angela White has the right to a jury trial against defendant Kim Kardashian for defamation. It is the law of the case. The court's last-minute removal of defendant Kim Kardashian from plaintiff's defamation claim is outrageous and completely contrary to law. So they are mad that Kim Kardashian was removed from the defamation portion of the lawsuit, which would have entitled her to more money. But it's safe to assume that the reason why she was removed from the defamation portion of the lawsuit is likely because the court found that Kim did not say anything that was defamatory, and it will basically be a waste of the jury's time to go ahead and decide whether she committed or whether she defamed Chyna or not. So, like I said, it would have been lovely to see what was actually happening in the courtroom, to know what it is that Chyna is claiming that Kim Kardashian said, or whatever it might be. I don't like the words Kris used describing Chyna, the mother of her granddaughter. Yeah, she's going to use that, but guess what? She's going to sit there and try to trademark Dream Kardashian's Dream Kardashian's name too. So Dream is the only thing of importance to her when it comes to Blac Chyna, it seems. All right, it said, Chaz says, was the trial televised? I don't remember seeing anything about it, although JD's trial may be overshadowing it. So actually, the Kardashian and Chyna trial was not live streamed, or it was not publicized. They actually declined for there to be media presence in the courtroom. I'm sure the Kardashians did not want media presence there. It actually came out that they didn't even want to appear in court because they feel like they're so famous and so many people will try to come to the court just to see them. So the court did deny the media coverage of this case. So we weren't able to see anything. We just kind of have to go off of what the news outlet says and then what the court documents say. So that's what we're doing over here, the court documents. That's what we have. All right, so they removed Kim Kardashian from the defamation claim. Remember, she sued for like several things, including defamation, putting her in a false light, interfering with her contract, all of those things, okay? And Blac Chyna's attorney says specifically the court correctly ruled on April 15th, 2022 that CACI 1700 defamation per se would be submitted to the jury. And that's basically just a jury instruction of how they should rule. Then with a hearing and any other form of due process, or then without a hearing or any other form of due process, the court deleted CACI 1700 from the jury instructions and impermissibly inserted CACI 1701. Even more outrageously, also without any due process whatsoever, this court dropped defendant Kim Kardashian from plaintiff's defamation claim altogether. So all that is basically saying is they had a jury instruction that they were going to go off of, and I forgot to actually pull it up. This 1700 defamation per se is going to be a little easier to prove than actual full-on defamation, which it sounds like they actually changed the jury instruction into full-on defamation instead of defamation per se. So that would negatively affect Blac Chyna, and I think this is one of the grounds that they are going to appeal on. All right, and so let's pop back over here. And they move on to say, how does the court purpose to add defendant Kim Kardashian back into jury instructions when plaintiff already lost her right to argue her liability to the jury during closing arguments? So now it also sounds like Chyna did not have a chance to do closing arguments. I wonder what that's all about. I really wish they would have live streamed this hearing. That's really odd that she was not able to do closing argument. All right, the jurors already will be deliberating by the time the court belatedly tries to correct its unlawful last-minute removal of defendant Kim Kardashian from plaintiff's defamation claim. Yeah, they're definitely going to be appealing this because if they did not give them a chance to respond about removing her, yeah, it would have been easier for them to keep Kim Kardashian as a defendant to the defamation and for the jury to find her not guilty than to remove her without any due process for Chyna. So that does seem a little bit unfair. All right. So we have, to make matters worse, after the former clerk, and this is the part, if you guys were here earlier, this is the part where I talked about some of the court staff got removed from the actual proceedings because of their biases. Okay, to make matters worse, after the former court clerk was relieved of her duties due to her extremely unethical and biased conduct in favor of the Kardashian/Jenner defendants, The deputy clerk was inexplicably removed from the courtroom and replaced by an unknown deputy clerk. The significant change in the courtroom personnel was never explained to plaintiff's counsel. Again, they're probably saying they should have explained it to them because it was biased against them so that they could have made some motions. This is particularly problematic because the alternate jurors were chosen in such a way that the randomness and fairness of the alternative juror process was not secured. Okay, so they're basically saying since you guys removed that clerk, the new clerk that came in probably just threw the jurors that were alternates in without really kind of going, okay, this one was for Chyna, this one was for Kim, this one was for Chyna. I keep saying just Kim, but it's the Kardashian Jenners. So they're basically saying the change in court staff could have messed up the biases of the jurors of whether they were selected for the other party. Okay, had plaintiff known then what she knows now about the former court clerks and the trial judge's biases. Oh, they're saying the judge has some biases too? Only made more pronounced after defendant counsel casually name-dropped Mark Zuckerberg as a former client during an off-the-record in chambers meeting with counsel before opening statement. So Kim Kardashian's attorney also represented Mark Zuckerberg. She never would have agreed to the selection of alternate jurors at the end of the trial when it is far more clear which jurors may be supportive of plaintiff's case. I don't know if that's such a great argument, but that was her motion, and she needed to submit this before the actual end of the trial because she needs to reserve the right to appeal it in the future. So, like I said, she lost. So we're going to kind of check into what the jury's thought process actually was. If you guys were here on a couple streams ago, we went through a jury verdict form before. This one is a lot longer than that one. So we're going to go through basically everything that they selected, whether they were liable or not. Okay, so we have, okay, I already read that one. Chad says, was the trial televised? I already read that one too. I'm not too familiar with this case. What was the reason for the case to begin with? Okay, so we covered this case a couple of times on this channel. Basically, Blac Chyna sued the Kardashians for several things. It initially included all the Kardashian kids, Kris Jenner and Rob Kardashian, which is one of the Kardashian kids, and then the Jenner kids. I think Kendall was dismissed from the lawsuit, and what is the older sister name? What is the older sister's name? I forget. What's her name? That's really bothering me now. The older sister was dismissed, and then Kendall Jenner was dismissed. Rob was dismissed, or not dismissed, but his case was just split up because she had a case against Rob Kardashian for battery and assault and sharing her nudes and the restraining order and all of those things. So that was actually moved over to a separate case. Against the Kardashians, Kris Kardashian, I'm still trying to think of the older sister's name because it's really bothering me. But Kris Kardashian, the mom, Khloe Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner were still named in the case for what's called tortious interference. Basically, that they interfered with her contract with the E! Network. Blac Chyna had a show with Rob Kardashian when they were dating, and she is saying that the Kardashians went to E! producers and told them that they should not continue the show. So that's basically what she's suing for. And she's also suing for defamation. From the looks of the jury instruction, she is saying that Chyna is saying that the Kardashians, that was so country. They're saying that the Kardashians defamed her by saying that she was abusive to Rob Kardashian. So we'll get into that. I feel like I blinked and the lawsuit was done. Yeah, this one was very fast. It was from April 15th and it ended on the 29th. So about 14 days. I don't know exactly if they went to court every single day. But yeah, a 2-week trial, which is not unusual for something like this. Johnny Depp's trial is just ridiculously long. Would all those discrepancies cause a mistrial? What I read from the jury instruction, yeah. So that's why they went ahead and filed this motion so that they can appeal on the issue later on, because the court did not re-add Kim back to the defamation suit. But if Kim is not liable for defamation anyways, it probably still wouldn't matter. So you can appeal it, but if she's going to win on it, that's questionable. Chyna lost, but boy, do we know even more how shady the Kardashians are. Yes, we do. And we're going to find out more when we go ahead and go over to the jury verdict sheet. Kendall was dismissed so she can continue ripping off other cultures. Yeah, so Kendall has been in quite a few lawsuits in the last year as well, including a trademark lawsuit that I covered on this channel for her tequila. And in that complaint, they threw shade at her for her cultural misappropriation. They went in on her. So if you haven't checked out that live stream, it was Kendall Jenner and her. She not only ripped off the culture of Hispanics, but she also turned around and stole somebody else's trade dress, the design of their bottle, the writing on their bottle, and the kind of style. I think hers is called like 818, and then the other one is called like 5112. So it's the area code. She just completely, yeah, that's Kendall Jenner, in my opinion. I don't know. It hasn't been proven to be fact yet. So maybe I'll look and see. She should have responded to that lawsuit by now. So I'll probably need to go and check in on that one. All right. And we have JD's case is going to be put on hold for the judge to attend a conference. Is that serious? Are you serious? I haven't been keeping up for the last 2 days. And I know they have switched over from Johnny's case over to Amber Heard's case. But I did not know that they were going to be continuing it or kind of putting it on pause for 2 weeks. That trial in itself is supposed to be 6 weeks long. And I don't think that accounted for a judge being gone for a week. But I'm not sure because this is the first time I'm hearing I'm hearing of this. And then who said? Kate said yes, of course. And then we have, it's going to be all next week. Oh, wow. I'll have to pop on to Legal Bites and see what they think about all of that. Appreciate the breakdown. Although I am not a Kardashian fan, I do think this is the right outcome. Sometimes you just can't make fetch happen. Yeah, with the things that we're going to see in the jury instruction, the issue, I can't really make a good determination because we don't know all the facts and what the Kardashians actually submitted to the court. But what was found is that Chyna did not reach all the elements of her case. Whether the mistakes that the judge has made or the actions that the judge has done or the biases of the jurors or the court clerk is going to change that outcome, I really don't know. They did have the opportunity to pick their jurors, and maybe they just didn't pick enough people that like Blac Chyna enough. All right. Judge Penny in the JD case has a conference next week. Okay, yeah, that's what Chaz is saying. Chaz says they're talking about it now on Legal Bites, but I came over here. I sat with them all day. It's your turn. Thank you, Chaz, for that. I wasn't able to pop on today, but I'm surprised that they are still going because I think Alita is overseas, so her time frame is all different. And then they start at 6:30 my time, and it is now 4:30 my time. So that's like 10 hours. She goes for a long time, but I think it's definitely worth it for her channel. She's doing great over there. All right, so let's pop over back to the jury instruction. So what did the court, or not the court, what did the jury find to be fact in this lawsuit? We'll find out. And let me tell you guys, this case is extremely long. They have, let me just scroll all the way to the bottom so we can know. They have 728 filings in this case. This is a 5-year case. 728 filings, and a lot of them are multiple pages. And I wanted to go over the full list of the jury instructions, but it was like 94 pages plus 64 pages. So what is that, like 150 pages? Did I just do math that quickly? Am I right? Yeah, so I think I am right. Maybe let's just go on with it. But it's like 150 pages worth of jury verdicts. So we're not going to be able to go over what the actual laws they were given to decide this case, but we will be able to go through their 14-page decision. So let's pop over and see what's going on, and let's make it bigger because we all know I am blind and I want to make sure you can see. Okay, So this is basically the form that the jury filled out. Oh, I guess Rob was still in this case. I thought they removed him. So Rob Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kylie Kardashian. Those are the people that were still in the lawsuit. I thought Rob got removed. Oh well. All right, so we answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Remember, that's that 150 something page jury verdict instruction or jury instruction. True. This one is for all of these questions are going to be for Kris Jenner. So, truth and common interest. Were Kris Jenner's statement in her December 15 and 19, 2016 text messages to Ailey O'Neal true or substantially true? These are the comments that she made. She beat the S word out of Rob's face. The jury found that that was not true. But they found that she beat the S word out of him was true. So, Blac Chyna did not beat Kardashian's face, Rob's face, but she did beat him in general. And so I'm assuming that they showed evidence of like injuries, hospital bills, or whatever it might be. Did Kris Jenner have reasonable grounds for believing the truth of her statement? She beat the S out of Rob's face. They said yes. She had reason to believe that she beat him just in general. And they said yes. So basically, in order for you to be liable for defamation, what you said, and these are for celebrity, she's a public figure, it will have to be said with actual malice. And I think the reason why she was trying to get a verdict for the defamation per se is because I believe accusations of domestic violence is part of defamation per se. So you don't actually have to prove that that statement is bad and that it will damage her. But since it looks like they didn't use that jury instruction, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. So the jury found that Kris saying that Chyna beat Rob up was true and that Kris had grounds to believe it was true, but not that she beat his face, which is a funny distinction. All right, so we have. Oh, was I not showing you guys the screen or did I just pop over? I can't remember. It's her, Uncivil, and Ho. Yes, they stay on there. Excited to catch a live stream from you after being introduced on the Leaders channel. Love your content. Thank you, Nurse Liz. I am watching your content as well. So I hope to have you on soon. Maybe we can talk about how Blac Chyna beat Rob Kardashian. But no, we'll just move on to what is going on in the jury instruction. Thank you for stopping by my live stream. I definitely appreciate it. All right, privilege to protect defendant's economic interest. So this is more along the lines talking about, did they interfere with her contract with E? So the jury needed to answer this question. Did Kris Jenner have a legitimate economic interest because she was an executive producer on Rob and Chyna's show and or had an interest in the impact of Rob and Chyna's show as a spinoff series of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, including the impact on Rob Kardashian, her son, and his role on and participation in the show and other family-related business ventures? They said yes, Kris did have an interest in the success of Rob and Chyna's show. Did Jenner act to protect her own economic interests? They said yes, she did do something to protect her own economic interests. They then had to answer, did Kris Jenner reasonably and in good faith to protect her own, Did Kris Jenner act reasonably and in good faith to protect her own economic interests? They said no, she did not act reasonably or in good faith. So you may be asking, how did she not be held liable? We'll move on. They asked, were Kris Jenner's actions justified with respect to Angela White's contractual relationship with E! Network? Again, they say no. And since they found that Kris Jenner had reason to believe that the statements were true, in other words, she did not have actual malice, meaning that she knew the statements were false, or reckless regard as whether they are false or true. So they did not have to answer any of the questions about defamation. All right, let's pop on down. I think they said to question 14, and moving back on to whether they interfered with her contract. They kind of split it up a little weird. Was there a contract between Angela White and E Network? Yes. Did Kris know of the contract? Yes. Did Kris Jenner conduct prevent performance or make performance more expensive or difficult? They answered no. So whatever Kris Jenner did in order to stop this contract, they found that whatever she did not actually prevent Chyna from performing in her contract. So that is why she is not winning. Kris does not owe her any money at this point, because the jury found that whatever Kris did, whatever she said to E Network, was not enough to stop Chyna from being able to perform her contract. I don't know exactly what information they submitted, but I would like to know what she said and how did that not affect her contract. Were they going to cancel the show anyways? That would be my assumption if they're finding that whatever she did not really interfere with Blac Chyna's ability to perform under her contract. All right, I've been watching your YouTube business stuff and it's so helpful. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it's been helpful. I stopped making too much of the educational content, but it's probably going to pop in and out. Chyna is money hungry and thought she would cash in on Rob, but Rob cashed out. That is seeming to be the issue here, or not the issue, but she thought she was cashing in on Rob and she ended up losing her TV show. She might be losing the name or the trademark rights to her child's name in very important categories in the business that they're in. So yes, and we have Vicky saying, yo, welcome to the live stream. Nice to see you here again. All right, so now we have Kris Kardashian. She's not liable. So that means Blac Chyna is not getting any money. Let's check out what they have to say about Kim Kardashian. Remember, Kim Kardashian was removed from the defamation portion of the lawsuit, so they are not going to ask any questions about whatever Kim Kardashian said that Blac Chyna is accusing her of. They're not going to ask her any questions about that. They asked Kris about the abuse, but they're not going to ask Kim anything. But I don't know exactly what Kim was accused of saying. Did Kim have an economic interest? And so I'm just going to kind of condense this because it's the same questions with Kris. Did Kim have a legitimate economic interest by being an executive producer or as it being a spin-off to the Kardashian show, including the impact on Rob Kardashian, her brother? They said yes, she did have a financial interest. Did Kim Kardashian act to protect her own economic interest? Yes, she did. She did something to protect her economic interest in the show. Did Kim Kardashian act reasonably and in good faith to protect her own economic interest? They said no. So she did something bad that she was not supposed to do, which was likely email E and say not to continue the show. Justification: were Kim Kardashian's actions justified with respect to Angela White's, which is Blac Chyna, contractual relationship with E? They said no. And then we go on to say, was there a contract? Yes, we already know that. Did Kim know of the contract? Yes, she did. And did Kim Kardashian's conduct prevent performance or make performance more expensive or difficult? They said no. So whatever Kim Kardashian told E Network, they did not think that it was a substantial factor in causing Blac Chyna to lose her contract with the Rob and Chyna show. And at the end of the day, they were kind of already breaking up. So that may be one of the reasons why the jury is finding that no, whatever the Kardashians said did not actually end Chyna's show. They're basically saying Chyna ended her own show. All right. And we have Nurse Liz saying commentary is fun content to make. I totally get that. I'm leaning that way as well. Yeah, you do an awesome job over on Legal Bites. And on your videos, I'm feeling like they're more commentary, the most recent one. So yeah, I think you're doing good with it. And we have Chaz saying, Nurse Liz, someone wanted to know what your shirt said earlier today, but you had already left. I didn't pop in today, so I couldn't tell you guys either. All right, I'm here from Potentially Criminal. Oh, awesome. Thank you for coming over. I love watching you. Thank you. I am so happy to have you here as part of my little crew. I don't have a crew name yet, but we're going to get there. Okay. Vanessa says, if I was overseeing this show, I would have pulled the plug too. She seems like a liability. She's not exactly known for being a saint. This is also true. And so that's why I'm thinking that the jury probably said, yeah, the Kardashians and the Jenners, they said some stuff, but the show was going to get canceled anyways. And if the show was going to get canceled anyways, then she can't really prove her case. So I'm wondering if the Kardashians submitted information from the executive saying, we had already chose to cancel the show. So that would be very interesting to find out what was in evidence. Well, I guess I could find out what was in evidence, but it's going to be really expensive because the exhibit list, I think it's like 300 pages. So, and LA County Court charges a lot of money to get their documents. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what was submitted, but I'm sure it was some good stuff. All right, we have Nurse Liz with an answer for you, Chaz. Says it had heroes crossed out and said humans under it, advocating against the healthcare heroes nonsense. Okay, awesome. All right, and Dickie says, ouch, 300 pages. Oh, this case is ridiculous. I think you came in after I told everyone that there was 728 things filed with the court, and a lot of the things were multiple pages. So I can only imagine what the court has been going through for the past 5 years. They have complaints that are 100 pages. They have responses that are another 100 pages, and jury instructions that are 150 pages. And I am not quite sure, but I did read some information that the jury took 10 hours to deliberate, and this was a 2-week trial. If you guys have been keeping up with Johnny Depp trial, how long do you think they're going to deliberate for? Because Johnny Depp's trial is going to be 6 weeks, while this trial was only 2 weeks, and they took 10 hours, so a day and a half. So let me know what you guys think about that, and if Johnny verdict is going to come back faster, or if it's going to be a longer time than that. And if it's a longer time, how much longer do you think it's going to take? All right, so now we're moving on to Khloe Kardashian, and she is still not liable. She is still into the defamation case, so they do have questions about what she said. Was Khloe Kardashian's statement in her December 2016 email to Jeff O'Day and Farnaz? That is an interesting name. That says the sisters are clearly concerned and uncomfortable for our brother's safety. True or substantially true? They said, yes, it is true that the sisters are concerned for Rob's safety. And then we have, did Khloe Kardashian have reasonable grounds to believe the truth of her statement? The sisters are clearly concerned and uncomfortable for our brother's safety. So they said, yes. Therefore, she did not say it knowing that it was false. So she's not going to be liable for defamation. All right, and then we move on to the economic interest. Did Khloe Kardashian have a legitimate interest because she appeared on Rob and Chyna's show, and or had an interest in the impact of the Rob and Chyna show as a spinoff of the Keeping Up with Kardashians, including the impact on Rob Kardashian, her brother, and other related family ventures? They said, yes, she did have a financial interest. Did Khloe act to protect her own economic interest? They said no. So I'm assuming that email of her saying that she's concerned would not be considered as an act to protect her own economic interest. With that being said, she's probably not going to be liable for a lot of stuff. Were Khloe Kardashian's actions justified with respect to Angela White's contractual relationship? They said no. She acted, okay, but they weren't justified. Okay, that's fine. And then they say, was there a contract between Angela White? Yes, there was. Did Khloe know of the contract? Yes. Did Khloe conduct prevent performance or make performance more expensive or difficult? They said no. So now Khloe is not liable for defamation under the jury's opinion. So, like I said, it would be lovely to see what the actual evidence was. I think her statement about her being concerned for her brother's safety and well-being, I don't think that's defamation like the jury did decide, because Chyna and Rob was fighting. They were very much so fighting. So I can see why they found that that wasn't defamation. What do you guys think about that? Chad says, nice to your shirt, Liz. And I think it'll be 4 days shorter if Elaine really annoys. Even though I have been missing the trial this week, I missed today and yesterday. I tried to pop in at like lunchtime, but it's very hard to concentrate when I have a whole bunch of stuff going on and I'm trying to eat. But yeah, I need to pop over there because I do want to see how their what do you call it? Their questioning is going, because they could not keep their cool when they were on cross. I wonder how they are on direct. All right, Chad says, in regards to JD's case, I say faster unless there is some super damaging testimony. I say he's won every day except Monday. Okay, everybody is on JD's side. We have the last witness was clearly biased. Oh, I'm gonna have to replay it and maybe lose some sleep. I think that they will deliberate for 7 days. On the 8th day, Johnny will win his suit against Amber. A lot of people are on Johnny Depp's side. I haven't heard any of Amber's testimony, but sometimes when I did have a chance to pop into the trial, because I haven't been able to watch every day, it seems like Amber might not really have that good of evidence, because I feel like some of it would have came up on their cross-examination. But maybe they have a smoking gun in their pocket. We don't know. There's still 3 more weeks of the trial to go. I'm expecting them to hammer the statement from today and tomorrow. So that will go on for a while. Aside from that, I don't have an opinion. And I'm assuming that's to Johnny Depp trial. Everything she said on the stand, you could clearly see it was exactly the way JD's been treated. Amber has already testified? Or are you referring to someone else? Is there a time limit on deliberation? I'm not sure. I think it would vary dependent on the court. I think they have an estimate of how long it should happen, but I'm not exactly sure on the answer to that, honestly, because I don't do jury trials, so I wouldn't be familiar with the court rules on that. All right. Gabby says, today witness was totally biased against men. I did pop up. I think that's who I popped in on at lunchtime. I hope she was paid a lot of money. Wasn't that one of her doctors? All right, I agree, Gabby. We'll see. All right. Oh, you need to go back and watch the end of JD's case today. It was such a mess. I thought Emily D. Becker was going to have a heart attack. Okay, I probably would go watch on Emily's channel just to see how frustrated it made her. Did it happen on Alita's channel as well? I'll probably watch both. I was referring to Amber Heard's witness. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, oh, did she already testify? But you're talking about the, I think it was a doctor, right? Yeah, she's referring to Dr. Hughes, a witness for the defense. Okay, yeah. I popped in a little bit on her, but I didn't get the fullness of what she was saying. I did see that she was looking at the jury a lot, though. So, oh, sorry for that. Amber Heard's witness. People did not find you favorable. All right, so we are almost at the end of the jury instruction over here on the Blac Chyna case. This part is against Kylie. Then she is she still does have liability for the defamation case. They said, was Kylie Jenner's statement in her December 2016 email to Jeff O'Day and Farnaz Farjum that she will proceed with using and physically abusing my brother true or substantially true? Okay, so I'm going to assume, and I don't know for sure, that Jeff O'Day and Farnaz Farjum are part of the production team. I'll probably have to look that up, but I'm assuming that that's who they are. They said that her statement that Blac Chyna was going to continue to abuse Rob is not true or substantially true. Did Kylie Jenner have reasonable grounds for believing the truth of the statement? They said, yes, she did have reasonable grounds to believe that Blac Chyna was going to keep beating Rob. I don't know why I'm giggling at that, but yeah, they're painting Blac Chyna out to be a monster against Rob. Okay, moving on to their economic interest. Did Kylie Jenner have a legitimate economic interest because she appeared on the Rob and Chyna show, and that it was a spinoff of the Kardashian show, and that it was in relation to her brother and or other family related business? They said yes, she had a financial interest. Did Kylie Jenner act to protect her own economic interest? They said yes. Did Kylie Jenner act reasonably and in good faith to protect her own economic interest? They said no. Were Kylie's actions justified with respect to Blac Chyna's contractual relationship with E? And they said no, her actions were not justified. And then they skipped defamation because they found that she had a reason to believe that the statements were true. And then on to the interference with the contracts. Was there a contract? Yes, we already know that. Did Kylie know of the contract? Yes. Did Kylie Jenner's conduct prevent performance or make performance more expensive and difficult? They actually found that yes, whatever Kylie did actually did prevent Blac Chyna's performance and make it more expensive or difficult. Remember, for everyone else, they found that it was a no. They did not make her performance more difficult. But for Kylie, they found that she made the contract more difficult for Blac Chyna, and maybe it could be due to her relationship with Tyga, who she claimed that she did not know Blac Chyna and Tyga were in a relationship, but they had a baby. It just doesn't make sense to me. But they found no or they found that Kylie's actions did affect Blac Chyna's contract. All right, so then we go on to the next question. For the other sisters and mom, we did not get the next question, but we're going to get it for Kylie because she caused some trouble with Blac Chyna being able to complete her contract. Did Kylie Jenner intend to disrupt the performance of this contract or know that disruption of performance was certain or substantially certain to occur? The jury again found yes. She knew what she was doing was going to mess up this contract, or she either knew or was substantially certain. Okay, so then we move on to the last question, which we didn't get to for all the other defendants. They said, was Kylie Jenner's conduct a substantial factor in causing harm to Angela White? They said no. So with them saying no there, I find it a little difficult that they will find that it was not a substantial factor, but that she knew she was messing up the contract and that her action did make it harder for Blac Chyna to perform. This will make me assume that E was planning on canceling the channel anyway, or not the channel, canceling the show anyways. So they found no, whatever Kylie did was not a substantial factor in causing harm to Blac Chyna in her show. All right. And so we have, she only interviewed Amber for 29 hours and what she said was ridiculous. I'm going to have to go back and check it because I don't know the context of what you guys are talking about. I think she's a clinical psychologist. Everyone in the chat and the lawyer seemed to agree. It sounded like she was talking about Depp being a victim. Okay, that makes sense. Probably being she was trying to talk about Amber being a victim, which is the problem. If you're supposed to be a witness for one party, you cannot make the other party look good or help their case, right? Her language was also heavily loaded. And then Gabby agrees. Watch the Rob and Chyna show. Total foolishness. Yeah, I've never watched the show. Just because it was a spinoff of the Kardashians, and that was a little bit of foolishness. But then again, I'm also not a fan of the Kardashians. I don't want to trick anybody into thinking that I am. So no, I did not watch the show. I think that they're bad role models for the young girls that watch them. And I was a young girl when they came out. Okay, did you answer yes to at least one of the following questions? They said no. And so since they didn't answer yes, they didn't have to answer question 69, but we're just going to read it for fun, okay? What are Angela White's damages? Note that if you decide that Angela White prevails on more than one of her causes of action, and if damages she suffered on different causes of action are identical, count that damage only once. Did Angela White prove by clear and convincing evidence that any defendant acted with malice, oppression, or fraud? Then they found, well, they didn't check anything, but I'm assuming that the answer is no for Kris, Kim, Khloe, and Kylie. This verdict form is now complete. Please sign and date the document to inform the court below. So they found no damages. And if you guys are aware with the case, Blac Chyna was actually suing for $100 million. And the jury found that she should get zero. And this case took 5 years. Imagine how much they paid their attorneys. Imagine how much Blac Chyna paid her attorneys. Like I said in my other live stream, I said if she wins, she's going to be definitely able to pay her attorneys. Hopefully she hasn't spent $100 million of attorney's fees. But she lost. So she's going to have to foot that bill for this litigation. Of course, she's most likely going to appeal the action. If you guys know about Tasha K and Cardi B, Tasha K appealed the action even after admitting that she knew she lied. So I know Blac Chyna is going to appeal her verdict as well. So like I said, she has been awarded $0. She lost this claim. This is a 5-year lawsuit that she spent her time wasting time, money, effort, and she is on the verge of losing her daughter's name as a trademark because the Kardashians have filed for the right to use Dream Kardashian as a trademark. All right, so I watched an episode of Rob and Chyna, couldn't handle the screaming. I can only imagine how much screaming was in that show. She overshot. Yeah, and it seems like she didn't have strong enough evidence to convince the jury, or what I'm sure she's going to argue is that the jury was biased. But the flaw in that argument is that you had the opportunity to pick the jurors that you wanted to pick. I kind of touched on this a little bit in my live stream, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that many people in America know who the Kardashians are. So they most likely are going to have a bias either against them or for them in support of them. They have millions of followers on social media. So there's probably a lot more people that are in support of them than that are against them. They would have needed to have people that absolutely did not know the Kardashians and did not know Blac Chyna. And I feel like that would be very, very hard to do, especially in the LA court. That is where they live. That's where they're the socialites at. And then on top of that, they're everywhere on the internet. So it is very possible that jurors could have said they didn't know the Kardashians and were really number one fans of them. We don't know if that's the actual situation, but it is. It has been known for people to lie to get on certain juries just because they want to be a part of it. So that's an option. Gabby says, what, $100 million? Shaking my head. Yes, she sued for $100 million for losing this Rob Kardashian show, which a lot of you are saying it was a bunch of screaming and it was ridiculous. So was that show really worth $100 million? Maybe, because she claimed that she was getting paid $95,000 per episode of that show. So she would have made seasons are usually like 10 episodes. I'm going to just guess. She would have made about $1 million on just that one season of Rob and Chyna. All right. Sounds like an overshoot. Yes, Vicky. Child support from Rob and Tyga will pay her attorney's fees. I read somewhere that Rob does not pay child support because he pays for their kid to go to school for like $30-something thousand, and that Tyga does pay more child support than him because I don't think Rob is actually on child support. I'm assuming that Rob and Chyna have like a 50-50 legal custody and physical custody. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on that. But there was like a recent article of Blac Chyna saying, there was like a recent post of Blac Chyna saying that she had to turn over her cars and something because her baby daddies are not paying her. So I don't think they're going to pay for her attorney's fees either because according to her, she got to give up her cars because Tyga and Rob are not paying. But like I said, Rob says he pays like $30-something thousand for Dream to go to school. Wasn't Chyna given an opportunity to settle before this also? I'm not sure. Usually that is an option, but if the Kardashians are saying they're not liable, they probably didn't offer her anything to shut this trial down. They just went ahead and fought it. But I'm not exactly sure if there was a settlement that was offered. I know one was married to West and was studying to be a lawyer at some point. She's apparently still studying to be a lawyer, and she passed her baby bar. It's a joke if you ask me, but I don't know. Maybe she does have a lot of time to study, but from what it looks like and how much she is busy and working hard, as her most recent controversial statement has said, she works so hard. I wouldn't see where she would have time to study for the bar, because I spent 2.5 months straight looking like someone that crawled out of a hole in order to study for the bar. I would not have time to be dressed up at the Met Gala and at the Grammys and wherever else she goes if I was studying to be a lawyer. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I don't know how to do it because I'm not rich and famous. Okay. And this is beyond that. I don't know who they are. Okay, yeah. And what I would say like the younger community and people that are into what do you call it? Reality shows and fast fashion. I would say fast fashion and just kind of celebrities. Those are the people that are going to know the Kardashians. They really got, you know, her from being married to West, but not because of her Ray J tape scandal. That's normally what Kim Kardashian is mostly known for, which a lot of the jurors mentioned to get taken off of the jury. Okay, love your work on Depp case with Legal Bites. Came to see your work on this S show. Oh, thank you for coming over. Yes, I covered this little trial a little bit, so I'm happy that you are enjoying it. Rob has her like 5 or 6 days out of the week, according to Rob. Well, then he has majority of the custody, so he would not be owing her child support unless Rob Kardashian is making some money out of nowhere. I don't know what Rob Kardashian does on a weekly, daily basis as far as his income, but unless Blac Chyna is making more than him, she would not, or if Blac Chyna is making less than him and Rob Kardashian is just making like millions and millions of dollars, then that's the only reason why he would need to be paying her child support if Rob has the child 5 or 6 days out of the week. He's the primary guardian. It sounds like Blac Chyna might just have visitation if that's the schedule. If that's true, Chaz. All right. Referring to their child. Yes. Okay, I got that. Who is Ray J? Ray J, you don't know who Ray J is? Ray J sells Raycon earbuds now, and I think he sells like a scooter as well. But he was like an R&B artist that was popular back in 90s to 2000s. He's also on Love and Hip Hop. He is the brother to Brandy, the singer. If you're not into like R&B and things like that, then you probably won't know them. All right, so I know them because of the Ray J tapes. Yes, Gabby, most people know him because of the Ray J tapes. My bubble needs to expand. Nikki says, I've never seen Ray J before. That's so surprising. He's been kind of all over the place, or not all over the place, but he's been on TV shows back in the 2000s, and he's also, like I said, Brandy's brother. He has his own music out, One Wish. A lot of people know that song. But like I said, if you're not into hip hop, then you probably won't know him. Ray J is Mr. I Hit It. He did make that song, Chad. All right. He goes, elbow cough. Elbow cough. All right. I'm no clue where or what. Oh, it's her brother. It's Brandy's brother, the singer. Yes. I know her, but not him. Okay. Yeah, it's her little brother. So he was trolling right behind and then says, yes, Chad. Yeah, so Ray J has the song, I Hit It First, but I think he's more popular for the One Wish song. But yeah, that is all I have for today. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you have not hit the like button already, be sure to go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment after the live stream is done. I am so happy that you guys decided to come live and watch the live stream. It really helps me out. It keeps my confidence up to keep doing these live streams. If you guys are not aware, my channel is not yet monetized because I don't have 4,000 watch hours yet. So if you are interested in helping my channel get monetized, meaning that YouTube will pay me when you guys watch my videos, make sure you just watch a couple of my videos to help my watch hours go up. Make sure you hit the like button so that more people will see my video. And I also have a link down below into my PayPal donation box if you guys just kind of want to drop a little monetary tip if you want to. If not, just make sure to hit the like button to help me out in the algorithm. Like I said, thank you for joining me live, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday. I hope a good case comes out so we have something wonderful to cover. So I will see